What's happening, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to my next episode of Skye. Can you believe it? Episode 29. And in this episode, we are moving away from the city. And there's one thing I have not built yet for the population that I do have in this city, and that is a prison. I have not built a prison, so I'm going to build a big high max security prison here. But before we get on to that, why not check out my socials, where I post a lot of the content from my builds over on my Blue Sky, my X, and I post some little videos now and again here on TikTok. It would be greatly appreciated if you could hop on over and give it a like. All my links to my channels will be in the description below, so be sure to check that out. Before we get started though, make sure you hit that like button if you do like this episode. Also, if you want to stay up to date with my latest content that I'm putting out, hit that subscribe button, make sure that little bell is on. Anyway, less of this chat, let's get on with the build. So here we are. By the way, episode 29, I've got a population of 100 odd thousand, and I do not have a prison. How does that make sense? I know, I don't know either. Where's all these criminals going? Oh, my days. So yeah, so I finally build a prison here, which comes on pretty well actually. I use a lot of like assets to try and make it look like a prison. But as you can see, I start the terraforming here. I place the road like so, and I just want the layout pretty smooth and flat. As you can see, I also got rid of some of the trees. As you can see, I have started the road layout coming into this little area. I don't know why I had it this curved, but I wanted to do something a bit different for this side, instead of just a straight road up. So I wanted to be a bit more spontaneous, as they say. And just a little quick FYI, if you actually haven't already noticed, my last couple of episodes that I've posted for the last couple of weeks have always been a Saturday. So my new schedule is going to be a Saturday. Every Saturday I'm going to get content out, whether that would be a Skye episode or Eaglebrook. Either way, that's when I'm going to release content. However, I really should take advantage of my Twitch account and start going live again. I know I haven't been as active over on Twitch, and listen, thank you for all the follows over on Twitch. I do plan on going live this week. However, stay tuned on my socials for that, for when I post, because I don't go live very often, as I'm too committed over here on YouTube. And finally, our vanilla jail is down in the city. So this is where it's time to get detailing up, I think. What do you think? So I go into my Find It mod and go to commercial properties, and I found this lovely looking EU building. As you can see here, I'm just deleting some of the assets. And just look at the building, I think it looks not too bad. I like the triangle middle. I like the triangle window at the very front. So I'll put the building put either side to that little triangle window, and it sort of reminds me of a prison, with like a big window at the front looking right down onto the wings, so which isn't too bad. Now some of the things you'll see here, like this road, I delete this road, I don't keep this road, but I had to hide the windows at the bottom because I was like, well, I can't have short windows at the bottom of this asset. So this is where I found wall mods. Now I can't remember who they're from, I'm really sorry, but I'm pretty sure they're static noises, but I'm sure I'll be corrected in the comments below. But yeah, all I done is put this all the way around the bottom for each little building that I placed down. So I think it looks good, but I'm not going to show you all the way around, so let's skip ahead. For this part, I wanted to create a walkway from one building to the other. Pretend it's secure, if you know what I mean. Like so, just so that the prisoners are not walking down on the ground or that. And for this part, I went in my extra assets tool and I found the doors that stuck onto the side of the wall. Now the door that I did pick, I didn't stick with that door for the next couple of doors that I put down. Actually, I'm going to go in and change it because I don't like that door. Then I just finished the wall coming around like so. And again, I think it gives off a lovely little effect having that wall round there. I had to keep deleting the assets though because they kept popping up. For this part though, now I know with jails, some jails have like a dip like right at the side of their wall. Some jails don't have that. I wanted like a dip to go all the way around the land, but I just couldn't do it because it just wouldn't do it. So I gave up on that. Only one thing for it, let's get the bushes out. So get the bushes out, cover them up like so. Also do add a door at the side of that building. This door is actually a lovely little fit. I then continue the bushes all the way along, and then I create another door. Now this is where I find the doors that I'm going to use for the rest of the build, going in and out of the buildings. I think it looks pretty cool. It's just a pity how I can't cover the top part of that door with the same sort of brickwork, because the brickwork, it's too big a square. It'll just show up on the top part of the building, and I didn't want that. So I branch a path off of there and do a little bit of terraforming, and then I put the next wing down like so. Now remember, if you are doing this, let's have your anarchy on because the buildings kept disappearing. Don't know why I turned anarchy off, to be fair, but there you go. I also found this EU Hotel 1 asset as well, which I thought looked good. It's like it's got a little bit of an extension onto this building. So I also added and kept this here as well. Now, within the two buildings, I do have a road going right through the middle just to stop the little road sign. If you look there, the road sign is highlighted on the left hand side there. That does disappear later on in the build. Then I just extend the path onto that building. Now, one thing I did do was hit the wee lock button to lock the buildings just in case they start leveling up. Now, I'm pretty sure these buildings don't do that. But just in case, I thought, you know what, let's lock the buildings in case they started leveling up automatically, which I didn't want. As you can see, I went into my extra assets tool and I just plopped on some doors, and as you see there, I've got some windows at the side. Kinda wish I'd put the windows long ways instead of sideways like I've done there, and I just fit the door like so. And then I just continue with the wall all the way around, and I create a little door down here because this centre part is going to be my little courtyard area, so I'm quite happy with that. For the next wing, I create another walkway the opposite side of the vanilla building, and again put some doors in, and this time I actually place some of the windows. I go a little bit further up. I kind of got carried away with these windows, so I've placed them all the way up that wall, as you'll see there. Note to self though, next time I'm doing something like this, put the road in first and then plop the assets down. Obviously I didn't do that, you've not seen that part, so I just plopped the assets down, and boy, it was nowhere near straight, So yeah, put the building down like so, and this is the final wing that we're adding. So yeah, the detailing's pretty much coming up just shortly, folks, stand by. So this is where I'm going to speed things up a little, because this is where I create a lovely little courtyard area. So I will jump back in very soon. One thing that I did need, folks, was like a watchtower for this area. So I went into my static ploppables tab and I found basically the fire tower. So this is a great little asset to have here actually. I was going to put the water tower in here, but it just did not look right at all. Didn't look right at all. So I set this up here. Now that window at the bottom there, I treat that like that's going to be the door. So it looks not too bad, I think. I surround it with some bushes and stuff like that. So yeah, it looks pretty neat if you ask me. I do put one at the other side as well. Anyway troops, I'll jump back in just one moment. Just jumping back in here, folks. Now, by this point, I have brought power and I have brought water into this area as well. You'll probably see the re-alert messages on top of the building still popping up though, because I don't fully connect them. But you'll see me connect them like so here. I just went under the building and I lowered, obviously, what I've got, the wee electricity cable. I lowered that under the ground, and all I'm doing is just connecting all the buildings up like so, and it's just as easy as that. So if you're thinking I'm having trouble supplying the different assets when they're collided together, that's all you need to do is just underneath, and yeah, you'll manage to connect them up nicely. Moving on, not going to spend too much on this because obviously you've seen me build the other courtyard, but because we're on a separate building, I thought let's get another basketball, couple of courts there, and another gym area here as well. Just so then mates have got a little bit of time to go out, maybe want to work out, maybe even have a game of basketball. I don't know what they do in their spare time. Now you are going to see me put a lot of fencing down here, and I am going to leave a gap and with a little fence that's sort of offset, and that's where I'm going to find like one of the assets, the locked gate. Now I actually didn't find this asset until I was deep into the build, because I was just going to keep the fences at an angle, looking like that it was potentially a gate you walk through. But I found these lovely little assets. Later on you will see it in the build. As you can see, I put the tower back in, and I do use my move it mod to sink it down because it was sitting a little bit too high. I also put the fence right around there as well. Now, one thing as well that I do is I put the wall back around the base of this building as well. I'm not going to show you the full thing, but I do that as well. I'm obviously firing this fencing right around there like so. And as you can see, I have put an alleyway road around the prison as well, so that's going to act like a road just specifically for like staff. And here is the gates that I was talking about. Now I didn't even know that these were in game. I just went into my find it mod, typed in gate, and this come up. So I'm now going to act like, you know, in prisons how you've got your locked gates, I'm going to act like they're my entrances now. And folks, if there's anything you do differently, let me know in the comments below. Anything you're liking about this game, anything that you're liking that you're not liking about even my build. Let me know. Any comment is greatly appreciated, and I will get back in contact with you. Now, as you can see here, I have my tower here, so I decided to put an actual door on it since the windows aren't on ground level. I don't know how I feel about the door I put on it, but you know what, it's on there now. I'm hardly going to notice it, so it's just a little walkway for guards to go in and out. For this next bit, I put a fence around the original road, and I find this lovely looking gate here as well. And this area here is going to be only for our prison officers coming on this side of the fence. And I put a little control post there as well. Now, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but I could have done a little bit better on the detailing up of that little area right there. I put the same gate along here as well, and I do finish off by fencing it off as well, just for a bit of a restricted area and for staff only. Once I'd done that, I came into my courtyard area and I sort of tidied it up a little bit. I implemented the gates that I found earlier on. I sort of straightened things up a little bit and tidied the sort of grassy bits up as well. And these gates, since I found them, they look the part. Do you know what I should have done actually? Is I actually should have changed the colour of them to like a greyish or a whitish sort of gate. I might actually do that on a live stream. So note taken. So yeah, so I tidied that up. As you can see, the little assets and billboards have all come back. So that was a bit of a headache, so I had to delete them all over again. So you'll probably see them popping up and yeah, and disappearing, should I say. I then put more fencing in. I also put another one of the gates in as well, which just adds to the effect of it being a prison. And just like that, I put a little door down this part as well, just so we've got an access way to this tower, which I think looks not too bad. For this area here, I do detail this area up just shortly. However, for this area, instead of putting any courts or anything like that, I just opted for putting a concrete surface, and I just put some seats and stuff like that down, because I've got other areas for our prisoners, should I say, to go if they wanted to get some free time, playing football or anything leisurely that they do. Again, I put the gates in, and I do put fencing all the way down here as well. And it is a maximum secure prison, so I want it secure. So that means me having a bit of a boundary wall in between the actual fence and the outside world as well. Now, I actually am just back from a trip to Belfast, and I actually did go and visit Crumlin Jail, which was really, really interesting actually, and it's a typical old prison. I just wish we had in game some sort of prison-like building, like your old style prisons, like Perth Prison just up the road from me. That is a really old style prison. I think these prisons look so cool. The Victorian sort of style prison, compared to your newer type prisons that get built. But no, it's defo if you're going to Belfast, check out Crumlin Jail. Also, check out Perth Prison as well. If you Google Perth Prison or Perth Prison Scotland, that sort of jail type of architecture, build, should I say, that's the type of prison I like. So I just wish there was a building like that in game. So if any of you modders out there want to work your magic and maybe, I don't know, start the build for a prison, it's up to yourself. Be great if there was one in game though. This is where I'm going to speed things up now, folks. I'll jump back in just one moment. Just jumping back in here, folks. Now for the last part of the build, we need a wall around the prison. Now, I went on to Sully's Discord, and under local assets, source design has put static wall props up. Now, these came in quite handy. Now, I could have done this myself because it's just pillars joined to each other. But you know what? See, having all these pillars at this certain height, putting them all the way around was just so easy because they were already stacked together. All I done is put them all the way around, and then after I'd done that, use my Move It mod just to bring them all down and level. And by the way, how satisfying does that look? Just using your Move It mod down and boom. So at the start, one thing I didn't show you is I actually do use that mod right there, see the wall? And not that I'm going to show you, but I go all the way around the wall like so, and it turns out really nice. And here it is, the wall. I think that looks really good, by the way. I really like that. Really like that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. And surrounding the area, I zoned in a lot of trees again, just to finish the area off. And by the way, if you've got a name for this prison, feel free to pop it in the comments below and I'll be sure to choose a name very soon. Obviously detail this part up as well by putting the trees in like so. I'll also detail the surface up as well, as you can see, and it turned out not too bad. But folks, that is a wrap on this episode and this build. I have really enjoyed this build. Just look at my prison. I think it looks amazing. Turning something vanilla into something custom is such a great achievement, and I think it's in a really nice area as well. And folks, if you did like this episode, why not hit that thumbs up? It would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to stay up to date with my latest content, hit that subscribe button as well, and leave me a comment down below as well. And check out my links where you'll find all my socials, you'll find links to certain modders, all in the description below. Now before I go, there is one thing that I forgot to do, and it was recolour the building, so I will drop that on a live stream. But that is all from me, folks. You've been watching me, Bearded Rune, and until next time, happy gaming.